Now we're going to talk about the levels of communication, because the level at which we communicate with our children is what's going to determine whether we really bond or have intimacy with our children or not. See, there's 5 levels of communication that we can engage in. The first level we're just going to call chit chat, and that's the simple level of just kind of asking, hey, how are you? We engage in this level of chit chat in our lives with great frequency, but there's nothing really of meaning or depth that's ever shared in chit chat. And so if we reduce our communication to the level of, hey, how are you? Fine, and move on, our relationship is going to stay at that level. The second level of communication is what we could call facts. And the level of facts is where we ask those questions of, things like, how did you do on your test today? As fathers, we're often pretty comfortable at this level, level 2, the level of facts. How did you do on the test? Or what kind of marks did you get here? What happened in your big race at school today? So we can ask these questions around facts, but when we keep the conversation only at the level of facts, then we're missing what it is to really connect with our children. The third level, it's another level that we're usually pretty comfortable with as fathers, and that's the level of advice or opinion giving. We're giving a solution to a problem. We're often really comfortable. Maybe we ask our child, so how are you? Fine. How did the race go at school today? I came in third. And then we can give our opinion. I think you should have come in second, or it probably should have been a little faster off the mark, or whatever that is.
Because a child who feels constantly blamed and judged and criticized may grow up to become an adult with a negative self-concept.
See, the fourth level of communication is where we actually start to go beneath the surface and get to the level of feelings. You see, when we actually now, the more important question, if there's going to be intimacy and bonding with our child, is to talk about how did it make you feel when you came in third? Did you feel proud or excited? Was that maybe that was better than they thought they do? And actually, what they want to share with you is, I've never felt so proud to get a ribbon today. I felt like I was a success. I felt good about myself. I felt positive, and you can celebrate that with them. Or maybe they're feeling disappointed and gutted because they really hoped they were going to come in first, or something went wrong and they tripped on a shoelace, or, but what matters is they felt a certain way. But when you're able to now get to how whatever the situation is made your child feel, you're now able to actually bond with them. Because we connect with people, we bond with people at the level of feeling.
I must pay attention to what my children are actually saying. And by so doing, they will feel comfortable with me or to talk with me. And that will also help them to be open enough towards me as their father, because I take time and listen to them.
The last layer of communication is what we call total transparency. And this is the level where nothing is hidden between two people. This is the level where now your child, because if you've sat with them in the feelings room, if when they expressed their disappointment, their hurt, their sense of woundedness at what's happened, if you sat with them and felt that with them, what happens is they can feel secure enough to open up totally and to actually say, I felt so disappointed and sad that I didn't do better, or because of what happened, and now they are hopefully they are going to be able to actually be transparent and tell you about how they're feeling, and maybe there's a whole nother world of how they were actually feeling in relationship to what's been happening on the team or at school and all those, and that's where you actually want to get to in a relationship, and where you can actually begin to be totally transparent yourself and say, oh, I know how it feels to be disappointed when you haven't, reached the goal you were moving towards. I've had times in my life where I was really hoping to actually achieve something, I just didn't perform as well as I wanted. And I felt so sad that, it kind of went like that, or I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt inadequate. And when you can now share those feelings and you can help them understand how you felt, maybe they felt left out and lonely. When you can now share your own experience of, I've felt that as well. I've felt left out. I've felt lonely. When you're able to now have that transparency, that's when you and your child can become a soulmate. That's when you can begin to relate at the level of felt experience. And that's where you can actually bond.
Because positive communication is a two-way street in which both parties take turns and listen and talking. And again, I must always resist the urge to correct their grammatical errors or finish their sentences. And this is one of those, it's not easy because most of us as parents or as fathers, we do not take that into consideration because we tend to think, hey, you know what, before your child even finish whatever he was going to tell you, then you have already given an answer. So we really need to make sure that we learn to come at their level and give them our ears so that we can find out what is actually happening in their lives.
The rest of the world can function at those levels of chit-chat and facts and opinions. That's fine. But in our families, as fathers, we want to sit in the room of feelings. We want to go to that place of transparency where our kids can truly be known.